Hi there, I'm Sylvia Plester-Silk. Hi there, I'm Sylvia Plester-Silk. Hi there, I'm Sylvia Plester-Silk, and 10 Minutes to Joy is your weekly invitation to reset, recharge, and rediscover your most joyful self through aha moments and simple energy techniques. Today, we're talking about boundaries. Hi, I'm Sylvia Plester-Silk, your host, and let's get started. Boundaries. It's such a challenging topic for so many. Uh, excuse me. And when we don't set boundaries, we're like laundry out on a clothesline on a blustery winter day at the whim of outside influences. So, how do we shift from being that piece of laundry that is being influenced by outside forces that maybe feel a bit crisp and cold and uncomfortable to feeling more warm, nurtured, and loved? Boundaries, in the most simple form, are what will I accept in my life or into my life, and what will I not allow into my life in the simplest form. When we set boundaries, we allow ourselves to stand fully in our power. We give ourselves permission to choose yes or no, or even not now. Ask yourself what intuitively feels right for you at this moment around this boundary in your life. Because when we fail to prioritize ourselves and we don't set those effective boundaries, we can burn out. Many years ago, back in the 90s, I worked at a mental health hospital and I didn't pay attention to myself. I didn't honor myself. I didn't set effective boundaries. And so I was like that piece of laundry flapping around and trying my darndest to make positive change, to assist clients, and to maneuver in a very toxic system. I got so worn down in the system that I started to feel that I no longer was competent as a therapist. And I actually believed that no one would ever hire me because the feedback that I had received and allowed and listened to far too deeply was that I wasn't enough, that I wasn't good, that I was difficult, and so on. And I allowed myself to stay there until I was clinically depressed and required antidepressants. And then I still stayed for another year or so before, well, finally one day a dear friend said, my dear friend, your days here are numbered. And I immediate response was, oh my gosh, they're going to fire me. And he shook his head and he said, no. Within 2 weeks, I had found another job and was leaving the agency. And I learned that I can't play around with my boundaries. They're really important and they help to prevent me from getting sick and enable me to be well emotionally, mentally, and physically and energetically. So now when I'm considering a boundary or I have a situation and something feels uncomfortable, I ask myself, what is it about the situation? Is it something that I'm doing that's creating this? Is it something that I'm allowing in my life that's creating this that I need to say, not this often, not now, and maybe not ever. So some really good clues that we need to put some boundaries in are feeling a lot of anger, being exhausted, feeling stressed and irritable around certain people, around certain situations. These are often signals that we need more boundaries. Let's talk about the different forms of boundaries. I'm going to discuss emotional, physical, and energetic boundaries today. When I'm talking about emotional boundaries, you want to think about what is it that you need to protect or honor your emotions. This is things like, how do I share? How much do I share? And with whom do I share it? My stories. It's also, what do I allow other people to share with me? Who are you going to allow into your life, into your personal life, into your emotional life or not, and what? So this can be friends, it can be what you listen to, what you watch, it can be things like the news, TV, political discussions, religious discussions. It can be um, choosing what we watch or don't watch on TV, how much time we spend on social media, and whether we spend any time on a specific channel of social media. Physical boundaries are more of your body and your physical space. So again, who are you allowing in your physical space? Who is allowed to touch you and in what ways? And it's not who's allowed so much as who do you want to touch you or not touch you? How close do you want to be? I remember being in university and being at a dance with an so it was the social workers and engineers that mostly went to this dance, and I ended up dancing with this guy. He kept getting closer on the dance floor, and I kept getting back. In one single song, I think we looped that dance floor in a fairly large auditorium 3 times. He didn't get the message, so I said no to the next dance. If that were to happen now, I would probably verbally say something because I feel more strong within myself, or I might have even walked off the floor. Back then, I was too afraid to hurt someone else's feelings, and what if I hurt their feelings? And we have to be really, really careful that we don't protect other people's emotions at our own expense, and that can be such a tempting thing to do when we're really caring people. Another way to think about your physical space is, who would you allow into your phone? Who would you allow into your purse to get an object or to look for something? Who is it that you wish to have in your home or not in your home? Do you want to go to dinner with somebody, or maybe to a movie where there's less conversations, or not even hang out with them? Now, let's spend some time and talk about what energetic boundaries are. Energetic boundaries are basically keeping your aura filled, but also clear from negative or clingy energy of others. This is when we state no to ourselves. I'm no longer going to tolerate X. Um, it's about clearing your own energy field on a regular basis. And it's about not letting what we call energy vampires, those people that consciously or unconsciously feel the desire or need to take energy from other people to survive their lifetimes. And it's really important we say no so that we protect our energy. And sometimes those boundaries are about the saying no or saying I would like you closer, and sometimes it's about simply protecting our energy field by setting up imagining a beautiful net around us, around the outsides of our aura. And that net is allows love in and blocks out negativity, judgment, critical comments, those sorts of things that can really be harmful to people who are sensitive, and really to all of us if we acknowledge it. It You can imagine a beautiful selenite column all the way around you. You could imagine clear quartz all the way around you. I've also read about using the image of having a mirror outside your space so that mirror reflects back any negativity, but allows love energy and caring energy and pure energy into your field. So it's about maintenance, self-maintenance. Boundaries are about self-maintenance. Let's get clear on what feels okay. State your boundaries to yourself. It can be helpful to pull out your journal and write, when I was with X person, I was feeling blah, 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 blah. And what I would really like to happen is blah, 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 blah. How do I make this happen? And so the first part is what is the energetic piece? Is there something that it's a pattern that's been a long-term pattern that you want to say, want to work through that pattern and release that pattern? And there's a great exercise in my book, Healing is Possible. I will drop the Amazon link in the show notes for that. And then you want to then take that choice once you've released that pattern and start to choose what you actively want or don't want. And sometimes it's just as clear as stating it emphatically, like it's true for all of your soul to the universe. And sometimes we need to actually go this step further, pardon me, and speak with the other person. So, how are you paying attention? How are you saying no when you want to say no so that you can say a full on yes when it's a yes that you want to do? Remember, boundaries are about self care. And without boundaries, we end up possibly ill, burnt out, and it is time to put ourselves first so that we can be in our full power, because right now our world needs us in our full power so that we can stand in our truth and set those boundaries so that we can make positive change in our world. That's a wrap for today. Remember, your emotional freedom is not found in controlling everything around you, but in releasing what no longer serves you. Each breath is an invitation to let go and embrace your most authentic self. Have a great week. And before you go, please rate and review 10 Minutes to Joy and help us spread more joy in our world.